James Wynn, the trader who turned 3 to 4 million US dollars all the way up to 80 million US dollars, and then right now is back at zero. Guys, I want to dedicate one video to have a quick word about this story, about James Wynn, this huge supposedly whale trader, and I just want to go over some lessons that we can learn from looking at this exact example. But let me quickly bring you through the story, guys, on this guy, James Wynn. So the story online goes a little bit, the reason why I got so much attention is that this guy was opening crazy amounts of order sizes on leverage positions over on Hyperliquid, which is a decentralized exchange. So he was opening positions that were like $1 billion in size, right? And those were 40x leverage. And supposedly he has run up his account from almost nothing, or like maybe from a couple of million, all the way up to 80 million, and now all the way back down to zero. So if we were to see this story as something real, because we don't know whether this is real, right? We don't even know who this guy is, and it's very difficult to confirm the story of this person because there are many possibilities in this whole thing, and I will go over these possibilities. But for the first time, guys, I gotta be honest, when I saw this guy, I was like, whoa, this is a very nice story. It's an underdog story. It's a guy who came from nothing, suddenly run his account up to 80 million with leverage trading. That is a huge success. The amount of emotions you have to deal with that, it is actually pretty crazy, right? So when you first see the story, you have like, wow, that underdog feeling, wow, respect to this guy. But then when you dive deeper into it, you see that maybe not everything is exactly as the story is being presented. But let's just start, before we are jumping into the conspiracy theories behind this persona, let's start just looking at the basic story, the story that is presented to us by this guy himself, being the underdog, running his account to crazy amounts and going back to zero, maybe even going into a loss. What can we learn from that, guys? I'm going to be honest, most people are losing money with leverage trading. Leverage trading is extremely difficult, and we are promoting some leverage platforms on this YouTube channel as well, but it doesn't mean that every single one of you needs to leverage trade. Like, leverage trading is not for every single one of you. It is very difficult, and if you want to be profitable, using leverage, then it is always using a small amount of leverage. So this guy was doing 40x leverage trades. This is really insane. This is like a very high risk that you're taking, and yeah, that might also be his downfall, because when he was opening in the later stage his 40x leverage trades, the liquidation price was really close below that. So every time the price went down, he had to lower his liquidation price until he eventually get liquidated. If he would use, for example, a 3 or 4 or 5x, there is so much space for the price to correct and then go further. So if you do not catch the perfect entry, then with a lower leverage, of course, you have a lower risk as well. So that is one point I want to share with you guys. The second one is what I personally found is it is really an emotional game. So you can enter the world of leverage, you can enter the world of trading, you can be profitable, right? You can making some profitable trades. But there will come a time, and this is so important, guys. There will come a time that you are wrong, because trading is not about being right. This is something that I had to learn myself the very, very hard way. It's not about being right. You have to get comfortable with being wrong. Why is that? It works the exact same as the casino. Only when you are a trader, you can become the owner of the casino. You do not have to become the gambler of the casino, but the owner. What does the owner of the casino has that the gambler does not have is an edge. And this is the most important thing. If you have an edge and you win, let's say 60% of your trades and 40% you lose, and the ones on the 40% that you lose, you cut your losses, you'll be profitable, and it's just a numbers game. The more trades you make, the more profitable you will become, and you can scale that up to something bigger. But you need to have an edge and you need to have a system. Because if you cannot cut your losses, it is inevitable that you are going to be wrong at some point. And if you cannot cut your losses on that point because you do not have a clear set of rules that invalidate your trading idea, then you can make many profits. But if you cannot cut that loss, you'll lose everything with one trade. This is really crazy, guys. And I would say one of the really most important things that I had to learn myself as well, because often I went into a trade without any system. I just go into a trade on a feeling, on a hunch, maybe on some indicators. And then I would just assume that the trade would go into my direction, which it often did. You make some profits, but then the moment that you are wrong and you are not able to bend your mind into that you are maybe wrong and the trade goes against you, you are stuck in this emotional roller coaster where you cannot take your losses and you just run all your profits down back to zero. So a very important lesson, guys, you need a system with a clear set of rules that clearly states when to enter a trade and when to exit a trade. If you backtest that system and it is profitable, you potentially have an edge. But historical price action is never a guarantee for future price action. So there can be some divergence in there as well. That is something to take note of as well. And the leverage, guys, it's 40x leverage for me. I'm not even sure if I ever did that. Yeah, maybe to try it out for fun, but 40x is really, really a lot, guys, really a lot. So this is what we can learn from the basic story of this guy, that most people who trade with leverage, they actually are going to lose money. That is a fact. But I also want to state the fact, guys, that most people who start their own business, they are also going to lose money, because this is something that Gann also said that really touched me as well, because he said if you are a doctor, if you are a lawyer, if you have any of these high skill professions, right? These people, they study 4 to 10 years before they make any money with their profession, with their high skill profession. Most traders, most retail traders, they have zero experience. They just go into the markets expecting to make money. That's not how it works. You gotta do the work. You have to put in the work. The amount of work that you're going to put in is the amount of reward that you will get back as well. Put in the work. If you want to become a trader, if you want to become a profitable trader, you have to put in the work. It is not easy, and that's why so many people lose, because it's so easy to just start trading with the dream of that you are going to become profitable, but eventually it is more difficult. It's difficult to handle your emotions. You probably don't have a system. But the matter of fact is as well, guys, and this is something we have to put on there as well. Most people who start a business will also not succeed the first time, right? So it's also a learning process that is very important. So yeah, guys, if you want to become a profitable trader, put in the work, make a system, test that system, and once you can see that when you test that system, it has an edge, you can, if you really want to play safe, you can use that system, paper trading, for the current price action. If that makes you money on paper, then you can start, and I always suggest first start with that trading strategy on the spot market. If you make money on the spot market, you can always eventually add leverage when necessary, but then do it a little bit and don't do it that much, because if you do really a lot of leverage, it's just so much risk. And I don't even know a strategy that is profitable with such high amounts of leverage. Because the higher the leverage, the closer the liquidation price, the more accurate you need to be on your prediction, which is more difficult. So you see how this falls a little bit into place, guys. That's just a warning that I want to give in today's video, because I'm talking about these leverage platforms. I'm even recommending some in the description, but I'm also well aware of the fact that it is not for everyone. So a lot of people that watch my videos and you do not want to leverage trade, or you do not know how to do it, you don't have any experience, then you can ignore these shout outs to these platforms, because it's probably not for you, and you first need to put in the work, like create a system, read books, get experience, and so forth and so forth. It's just something that I wanted to put out there. Now, let's dive into the conspiracy theories, which is also very interesting. So, James Wynn, he was like, one conspiracy theory, like it's a big word of course, but one theory that I really like to engage here is who is profiting from his persona. Right, he suddenly got really famous. He got like 250,000 followers. A lot of people were talking about his trades, including me. And a lot of people were actually thinking that it was an insider, that he knew something because he run up all these profits. Well, maybe it is an insider. And a couple of things are possible. There's one rumor, somebody said that he might be connected to Alameda Research. Alameda is basically the trading, the trading company of FTX, the exchange that completely collapsed. Alameda was the trading company linked with FTX. They were trading against their own customers, and I think they made a lot of profits until they used too much leverage, and then eventually their whole system collapsed. So he might be linked, because there are some rumors. I didn't see any evidence of it. I don't know the real story. I don't know the truth, but there are some rumors. But another thing that is very interesting is that he's right now promoting hyperliquid exchange. Right, so what potentially could have happened, and this would be a super smart marketing technique, is that, let's say, Hyperliquid, they have created this persona and they used his account to trade, right? But they had separate accounts which doing the opposite trades of James Wynn. So that means that on his account things go up, right? Then on the other accounts things go down. But when the things on the James Wynn's account go down, the other accounts go up, because it is counter trading the trades of James Wynn. So that means that the exchange eventually will have an equal balance on the book, on the finances. They just have the fees, but the fees will go to them anyway, because the exchange is earning the fees. So they do not lose any money, but they get all this attention right now from this persona who's trading these crazy amounts on Hyperliquid, who is right now promoting Hyperliquid as well. So guys, this is a crazy story from this so-called huge leverage trader. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. But I think one of the main lessons that we can get from this is, first of all, guys, many people with leverage trading are going to lose money, especially when you do high leverage trading, and especially if you do not have a trading system. So if you do not have a trading system, guys, do not trade with leverage, because the only way that you can become profitable in the longer term time frame is when you have a system, and that system tells you when to enter, when to exit in both directions. So if it goes into your profit, when to exit. If the trade goes against you, when to exit. If you cannot tell this information before you open a trade, if you cannot tell that information based on your system, then it's better for you, in my personal opinion. You can do whatever you want, of course, but to not leverage trade. And another important lesson, I think, right here is that we for sure being tricked from all over the place. And this is something that I think about recently a lot, is your gut feeling, guys, is the most important thing. So imagine if you right now, being dropped in the Middle Ages of thousands of years ago, you come into this country, you don't speak the language, how will you survive? How will you know what is good and what is not good? Your gut feeling, the intelligence of your body will tell you. And that is right now, this is the exact same thing in life as well. We are being tricked all the time, and we will be getting tricked more and more as we are going into the future, as we are going into these crazy volatile times, maybe another Great Depression 2.0, World War III, the AI, the feeds on social media. There are so much information that is used to manipulate us. And if we do not get in tune with our body, because the body carries the truth, the body, your heart is carrying the truth. And if you can tap into that intelligence, you do not need to have a rational explanation for anything, because you will know exactly, based on seeing through your heart, what is the truth and what is not the truth. That brings me to the next one as well, and that is your own authenticity, guys. Your personal authenticity is your highest good, and this is something that everyone should really respect. And that's why if you see a story like, for example, what we are seeing right here, James Wynn, underdog, making a lot of money from the story that we are seeing online, it doesn't mean that is your story as well, right? Everyone has their own story, does it in their own way. So even though like this is even research, and it's even true, if you look into trading communities, there can be profitable trading strategies that you give to person A, and person B has the exact same strategy but will not make profits. This is how it is. This is really how it is. And if you can understand that, then you also know that your true power is in your authenticity. What makes you unique is what makes you unique, and not someone else. So you have everything that you need. You have everything already inside of you. There is a compass inside of you that will tell you exactly when something is wrong, when something is right. If you encounter certain people in life and you feel in your body that something doesn't add up, or this doesn't feel good, you do not need to explain it with your mind, but you need to trust that feeling. That is very important. And for me, it's also very important, guys, that I know I'm making these YouTube videos. These YouTube videos for you are for free. But for me to earn an extra income with this YouTube channel, I have some sponsors of the channel, and those platforms do offer leverage trading. And it is a part of the income of the channel, and it makes it able for me to create these videos for you and to provide them for free, to put my time and effort in this as well. So yeah, and if you do not, for many of you, you can also ignore these things. If you are not a leverage trader, if you have not a system, then simply ignore this and just take the information of the video that you want to take, that works for you. And for the ones that have a system, that are professionals, that are experienced, that can be profitable, then of course I would highly appreciate it if you then trade on one of these exchanges that I recommend using my affiliates, because one of my affiliate links, because this is for me a way to create a separate income, or to create an income from creating these videos. And that's just the honest truth from my side, guys. And guys, the last lesson that James Wynn is sharing right here, he said, one thing for sure is that I have exposed just how corrupt these markets are. Guess it's better to just buy and hold Bitcoin on spot or cold storage it. And just to give a couple of words on this as well, this is definitely one of the most safest way, and you guys know that already, of course. This is not rocket science. If you buy and hold cryptocurrency, and especially cold storage, so buy and holding on an exchange, I mean, we all seen what happened with FTX, right? I think the next bear market, maybe even more crazier things are going to happen. But cold storage, it is one of the most important things. Keep your crypto off exchanges, because the moment it's cold storage, it's the same as physical gold. You have your crypto digitally, but physically with you, which means that no one can touch it, and it will be safe. So when the exchange will crash, when there will happen these solar flares coming to the planet that will disrupt the technology, you'll have your crypto with you. Yeah, soon I'm going to make a video about the next level of cold storage. Is that I want to create a video where I'm going to have a look at the prophecy tokens, because the prophecy tokens are still, for me personally, very interesting. That you create next to your main cold storage another cold storage, which is the prophecy cold storage. I hope this makes sense. But then we're going to dive in which prophecy tokens, which stories belong to that. And is it smart to have, for example, to invest a little bit of money into a prophecy cold storage, which just holds some prophecy tokens that makes sense, that fits into these prophecies, and just to have as a plan C, plan D, or plan E. But okay, guys, that was the second video of today. I hope you enjoyed this topic. I don't know. I just felt I wanted to share this in these videos, so that's why I make this video, guys. I just felt I wanted to share it, and yeah, be careful, every single one of you. Be very careful, and if you want to become a profitable trader, work on your system. Really work on a system. And if you want to discuss certain systems, join the Discord with the link down below. There are many traders there, and it would be nice if people are going to start discussing more about the system. System and rules are important, guys. System and rules are important. It's the same in life. Trading is such a good college. It's such a good university for how to deal with life. If you are going through life and you do not have any rules for yourself, you do not have any boundaries, right? You will run into so many problems. People will treat you like a doormat if you do not have any boundaries. This is the same with trading. I really believe, guys, that's one of the positive things with trading. Even though if you are not profitable, it is full of lessons. The trading game is full of lessons. One of the biggest lessons in life that I've learned, and the understanding that I get into emotions, into psychology, a lot of these lessons I actually got from trading, which is very, very valuable. But okay, guys, the outro is already going way too long. I'm going to wish, like always, every single one of you beautiful day today, and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video. Bye bye.